I used to complain every night. What bone in my area did not hurt? I was like, come on, stop talking to each other, stop communicating with each other. If it was, I'm surprised my hair didn't hurt, because everything before I came to.
Probably did hurt, but other things hurt worse, so you didn't
Oh
pay
my
attention.
goodness, yes, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Get ready to be inspired by the Unstoppable Mary Ness podcast. Meet Mary Ness Garcia Lambert, a true force of resilience with a story that defies the odds. Join her as she dives deep into conversations with experts and trailblazers in health, mental health, and personal growth. Discover stories of triumph, tools for transformation, and motivation to unleash your own unstoppable spirit. Subscribe now and never miss an episode of Unstoppable Mary Ness, the podcast that proves no challenge is too great. Available wherever you listen to podcasts.
So hi, John. Welcome to the show, Unstoppable Mary Ness. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Pleasure.
You're welcome. So guys, John has been working on the industry of alternative health, right? Is another way of caring for ourselves.
Correct.
And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, alternative health is basically a holistic approach to wellness. We believe that only the body can heal itself. We believe that medicine has its place. We believe that medicine is there for catastrophic injuries, car accidents, battlefield, that type of thing. And our society has kind of gotten on the mode of looking for chemicals to shape their health rather than saying, what can I do myself to keep myself well? People trust the medical community, conventional medicine. They put their health in conventional medicine's hands. And the responsibility of people's health is in the medical community, wherein we believe that we have to put it in our own hands. You know, how do we eat? How do we live our life? How do we think? So we work with the whole body concept, physical, mental, and spiritual. We believe that there's no way to separate those three. If we're unhealthy physically, then we're probably not as well as we should be mentally and spiritually, and vice versa. That's our approach.
Yes. And as a client myself from your alternative approach, I feel that I had my own benefits in feeling less pain, losing weight, and feeling better overall. So I could say that, yeah, this approach does work. And how many years have you been doing this?
I've been doing it for a little over 25 years. And I kind of got into it because I was very unhealthy. My background was military, 20 years active duty military, retired from the military, and then through life circumstances, I kind of let myself go. But it had to do with family and stress and different things that went on in my life, and it became very unhealthy. As I mentioned earlier, I relied on the medical community to take care of me, and they had me on a lot of medications for several years, actually. I gained a lot of weight. I was up to 260 pounds. And every time I went to the doctor, they would tell me that there was nothing wrong. But I knew there was something wrong because I was tired all the time and I was just couldn't really function the way I wanted to function. So one day, after a number of years and being on a lot of medications, I went to the doctor, my 3-month routine, and the doctor came out and told me, you need to get your affairs in order. He said, his quote was, you're going to be face down the pavement. And really surprised me because I was of the mindset that the medicines they had me on was going to keep me well. That was my thought, okay? When he told me that, I went home and I actually threw out all my medications, everything. And I was on a lot for blood pressure and cholesterol and antidepressants and a number of other things. I just threw them all out. And my thought was, well, if the good Lord is ready for me, I guess that's what I need to go and just let it go. My sister, who I call her my Irish twin, we're only 11 months apart, she fussed about it, and she told me that I needed to do some things and not let it go. And I told her, basically, my little sister, mind your business, and I'll do my thing. But at her insistence, I went and visited a woman that she knew who was a naturopathic doctor, and her business was in Salt Lake City, Utah, but she happened to be doing some seminars in Chicago. So I flew out to Chicago and I met with her, and I talked to her for a few minutes, and she said to me, you have candida. And I had never heard of such a thing in my life. At my age, when I was a kid, there was a song called "Oh Candida" by Tony Orlando and Don. For those people who might be a little older, they might remember that. That's the only thing I had ever heard, candida. And she told me, she said, this is what you have to do. And she laid it out, exactly what I had to do, basically what I told you. And my first response was, I'm not doing that. I just said, that's just too much. You got to watch everything you eat for a while. You got to do, and she just said, well, when you're sick enough, you will. Or she says, you'll die a premature death. Or, this is what the part that scared me, she says, worse yet, you may become debilitated and somebody have to take care of you the rest of your life. So it's your choice. And that last part really scared me because I thought, I never want to have somebody have to take care of me, okay? So I told her, I said, okay. I said, I'll try it. And she said, you don't try it. You either do it or you don't. And if she says, if you're not going to do it, don't waste your time, don't waste your money, and don't waste my time. And I thought, how rude and what poor bedside manner that was, right? But as it turned out, it was the best advice I ever got. Because I just said, okay, I'm going to do it. And to be honest with you, I did not believe it. I didn't think it was going to work. I did it because my sister, amongst a few other people, were saying, just do something.
Do something.
So I did it. And within a week to 10 days, I started feeling a difference. I started sleeping all night. I started waking up with energy. Even my dog was wondering why I was up so early in the mornings, okay? And so I thought, oh, there's something to this. And I did it for 3 solid months. And at the end of 3 months, I went back to my doctor, and they were just flabbergasted. They thought they had the wrong blood when they took they were running in and out with different machines, checking my blood pressure and everything. And they had me scared because I thought, oh, something's really wrong now, right?
Yeah.
Finally, the doctor walked in and he said, I asked him, I said, what's going on here? He said, he looked at his chart and he said, everything's perfect. I go, what do you mean? He said, your blood test, everything is perfect. There's nothing wrong. And I said, well, why do you think that is? And he said, well, the medicines. He says, the medicines we have here. And I said, 3 months ago, you told me I was going to live. And I said, to be honest with you, I went home and threw them all out. I haven't taken them for 3 months.
Wow.
And I told him what I did. I told him exactly. And the only thing he said to me was that it was a coincidence. And that told me right there, you know what? This works. So I called up the naturopathic doctor and I said to her, I have 2 complaints. She said, what's that? And her name is Dr. Linda Nelson. She's still my mentor. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman. And she said, what are your complaints? I said, number 1, why didn't my doctor tell me about this a long time ago? And she said, well, that's the economics of the pharmaceutical industry. She says, another subject for another time. She said, what's your second complaint? I said, why don't you have facilities around here to help people? I said, I can't be the only person that has this problem. She said, oh, by far you're not. And so I started working with her. And I changed careers. I started working with her. And that's how I actually got into it. And so now I have 3 different places that I practice out of, East Hampton, Mass, and Southwick, Mass, and then West Hartford. So I have 3 locations, and For 25 years, I've been helping people, putting them on teaching them how to eat properly, how to take care of themselves, how to rebuild the immune system. And it's not easy, as you already know. Okay?
Yes, it's not,
It takes work.
but it is worth it.
Absolutely. Because our health, in reality, the only thing we really have is our health. Everything else, I believe, now having gotten well, circles around our health. Okay, if we're unhealthy, we can't function. Our work is complicated. Our family life is everything is complicated because it's we don't feel well.
Yes, definitely. And how can we function if we don't feel well?
Correct, both physically and mentally.
Yes.
It goes all the way.
Yes. And as you have mentioned, it is not easy, but I know it's worth it. Um, how can people start getting to know you, maybe get the same thing, the evaluation that I have? Does it cover insurance? Is it only cash? How does it work?
Unfortunately, insurance doesn't cover all natural. That's kind of a sad chapter in our medical system. Okay. And I hate to put it this way, but in my opinion, this is my opinion, medicine is not well care, it's sick care. Okay. If people are sick, they're of great value to a lot of different things within the medical community. All right. Now, I'm not saying that medicine keeps people sick. I don't want to go there or anything like that. But if everybody was healthy, what would happen to hospitals and walk-in clinics and all the other things, of pharmaceuticals, et cetera, et cetera? They live on the fact that we buy from them, just like we go to grocery stores and buy food. We have to buy the food. So in reality, what I like to think that we're doing is well care. Get people well and teach them how to stay well. So to answer your question, no, insurance does not cover it. What I do is because it is a business, I work with people and I let them stretch payments out. I let them finance it with no interest or anything like that, so I can work with people and help as many people as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Because we use a lot of supplementation, but natural and pure supplementation, which unfortunately most people buy supplements that have a lot of binders and fillers in them, which are very unhealthy for you. So it's not all supplements are good, just like all medicine isn't good or all medicine isn't bad. It's you have to know what you're doing. And that's where I feel if people want to reach out, they can either go to our website, they can give us a call. I'm willing to talk to anybody and kind of give them some ideas of what the first step would be based on their particular health.
Yes. And I know that when I came to you, I was in a lot of pain. And as you know, I was born with cerebral palsy. So even though growing up, I never experienced any other challenges except for my physical. As I grew older, having kids and changing, right? My body started changing and taking medications, but I still didn't feel like I was doing great. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of pain. So I'm going to do what I think is going to help me. And I know that I saw a coworker of mine and I said, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm taking vitamins. And I saw, before she even mentioned anything, that she was losing weight and she was feeling better. And I said, okay, so can I have the number? And he said, sure. So I did it, and I don't regret it at all.
Well, point you just made, and I think it's worth mentioning. In my business, don't concern myself nearly as much with weight loss as I do with wellness. Okay, if we can get people to get rid of the pain in their body, physical body, get rid of the pain in their emotional mind, the brain fog, the soreness, the stiffness, the fatigue. That's really what the goal is. Much more important than how much we weigh. And as you well know, I always say in my practice, I don't care what you weigh. I look at other things like hydration and body fat percentages and metabolic age and those kind of things, because those are the numbers that tell us, are we well or are we not well? Your overall weight really doesn't tell me very much, because weight to me is like age. It's just a number, okay? People think as they get older, they're supposed to be sick. That's not true. So I look at the weight really the same way. Somebody can be heavy and be healthy, and I have a lot of clients that are very thin. And if you looked at them, you'd say, oh, they're healthy. But our society says if you're thin, you're healthy. If you're not thin, you might not be healthy, okay?
But it's not necessarily the truth.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. So that's more what I look for in my staff. We talk about this all the time. When somebody says, oh, this person's not losing weight as fast as they want to, and I say, the first question that we need to ask them, how do you feel? And as you know, we have progress reports, so we can see and we can gauge how they're doing as they come in month to month or week to week, whatever it might be. And that way, and so many people say, I'd like to lose more weight, but I feel great. I have energy. My family sees it. I'm moving around. I'm happier. To me, that's what we're shooting for our life. Be happy and feel good.
Yes. And if we can get there, then what else can we ask for, right?
That's right.
There's nothing better than that.
Because again, I've come to the realization, and again, my belief is God put this body together to work. And sometimes we have issues, like you were born with issues, but I think that's just a test. Some people have a certain test. Some people have a certain cross to bear, and we don't know why. And someday we'll probably find out. But I believe we were put here to take care of what I call the temple. And that's what the Bible says, the temple. And it's our job to take care of it. So the path that I'm on is to show as many people as I can, how do you take care of that temple? Okay? And how do you work it and understand it and get away from the pressures of everything that our society says you need to do, whether it's for the holidays or any other time of the year, and take care of yourself, but still enjoy life and feel good so you can enjoy life.
Yes. Yes. And I think, like you said, if we take care of the body, then mentally and physically we feel better. Then you even have the energy to be with your loved ones.
Correct.
Because sometimes due to the health, we are not able to even get up out of bed or be in the mood to celebrate with others or be around other people, right?
Yes, and so many other things happen. Like I deal with so many clients that, so say female clients that have horrible menstruation. And we've come to the conclusion sometimes that it's a female curse. Not true. It's because your immune system is weak, okay? Your body can't function the way it's supposed to function. But we put people on drugs to try to prevent it, and which creates other problems in the body. And then we wonder why we have young women, for example, now they can't get pregnant anymore, whatever. And so if you knew over the past 25 years how many women couldn't get pregnant, I put them through wellness programs. Now they have families, okay? And they were told you're never going to conceive, and et cetera. And men the same way, they're just as much responsible for inability to conceive too. But unfortunately, men aren't as open to taking care of themselves as women are. So it's a little bit more difficult. But believe it or not, men heal faster than women when they're actually, once they get on a program, they will heal faster than females because of the muscle and the body and stuff like that. But we go through our life thinking that all these things are supposed to happen, and they're not supposed to happen. The body we were not put on this earth, I don't believe, to be in pain all the time. We can choose it and stay on that path, or we can say, I got to cross that valley there that's steep and scary, but I can get there. And then once I do, I feel so much better, and I can my body is much better, my mind is better, et cetera. And that's what we strive for.
Mm-hmm. And would you say, how long is your program for the audience that don't know?
It varies on the individual. And that's why many times people call and say, for example, they might say, I know Mara, she went through your program and I want to do it the same amount of time she did. They might not need the same time. They might not need as long. They might need longer, depending on the circumstance.
Yes.
And that's why when people come in, I do the full consultation. And how much time did I spend with you the first time? Probably close to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And because I need to know everything that's going on in the body, okay? Because everything is connected. There's nothing independent in your body. So if a person has pain in their back, it's affecting some organs. And that's why we do the Zytoscan with the hand on the hand cradle. So I can scan the body and see what's going on, and then put that plan together to determine what they need. And a lot of times the length depends on how long have you been sick, how many issues do you have, and your age at times, because the older we are, the harder it is for the body to heal because the immune system is weaker.
Yeah.
If I take a 25-year-old and a 55-year-old, they're going to heal different speeds if they have exactly the same issues because age slows down the healing process.
Yes.
And they've been sick longer probably too. Okay?
That's true. And I know that you threw all your medications away, but would you recommend that to anybody that comes to you
No.
with medical issues?
Absolutely,
no,
positively,
absolutely not.
no.
Okay.
Okay? One of the things we tell people, if you're on medications, stay on the medications, okay? I didn't know any better, and at the time I didn't care. I felt so miserable when they said, you're going to die, so let's get it over with, okay? That was just my thing.
Speed up the process,
Speed up
you
the
said.
process, okay? Bring me home, okay? No, we don't take anybody off of the medications. But what we tell them to do is work with their doctors to get off the medications, because our ultimate goal is to get off of the medications. That's our goal.
Yes.
By the time we're done, okay? Because I don't believe that a healthy body, except in rare instances, is healthy if we're on drugs. And medications is a drug, okay? And there's always side effects.
Yes.
So our goal is, now there are some instances where people can't get off medication, okay? For example, people that have been on thyroid medication for a long period of time, you're not going to get off of it in all probability. If you've had your thyroid removed or something like that, you're not going to be able to get off of that. But we have to work around it and heal the body so the body can deal with that medication and take care of itself as best we can.
Okay.
So everybody has different scenarios and different circumstances that we have to deal with.
Have you seen where a person with a thyroid issue could get off of maybe the 20 other medications except for that one?
Yes, absolutely. And I deal with everything. I mean, I just mentioned thyroid. That's a big thing, but because it's a centerpiece of our body. But we deal with virtually every kind of physical autoimmune deficiency that you can imagine, okay? And so, yes, if you start getting the body healthy, just like getting unhealthy is slow process and breaks down. One thing goes wrong, it breaks down other parts of the body. When you heal, it's kind of the reverse domino effect, okay? This gets better, so you start sleeping better. Well, now more rest actually helps to heal the body along with what we're doing. So it kind of compounds itself as you heal. So you heal the whole body, not the symptom.
Okay. Okay. So I think it is important, if anybody is curious about what you are able to do for them, right? To contact you
Absolutely.
and just go for the consult and see where it takes you, right?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And all the people have to do is call. We schedule it to make sure that I have an hour and a half to 2 hours I can spend with you, and work, find out what's going on so that I can advise, just like I did with you, what you need to do. And then I let the person make the decision. I don't try to convince anybody. I learned a long time ago, if you don't want to get well, you're not going to get well.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have to decide, I'm going to do what it takes to get well. And then I can promise them your life will change. It will change if you follow the protocol. But there are people, met with a woman today, and she desperately wants her daughter to do a program because mom is doing so well. But daughter is saying, I don't want to do that. And she's a college age. And she said, I want to have fun. And the mom says, but you're sick all the time. You're this. And she's like, I don't care. Okay. And I told mom, don't push it. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Mom said, I'll pay for it. I said, no, because she won't have any interest in it and she's not going to do it. And therefore, it's a waste of your money. It's a waste of her time. It's not worth it.
And we have to honor the resistance. When she's ready, she will go for it.
Yes.
If she wants to.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Maybe that she's okay being young and she's still going to do it her way. The same way, her mother discovered you. She's going to discover, well, I think I'm going to do what my mom did.
It's not just for the young people. I got older people that are the same exact way. It's just, they're adamant, I'm not changing. Okay. Even though they complain and they hurt and they don't feel well, they're not going to change. And it's okay. That's your choice.
Yes, it is a choice.
Yep.
And the good thing is that you are with them along the way.
Correct.
You and your staff.
Yes.
It's not like you say here and you're on your way.
No. And
so tell us more.
And the reason that we do that, because so many programs fail because we take people and we say, do this. And they say, yes, I want to do that. But then they get out there on their own and everybody else is drawing in the wrong direction and they don't have the guidance and the support.
Yes.
And then right away they lose interest. So it's almost like a buyer's remorse, okay? And they're excited about it when they start out, but a day later they're like, what am I doing? I don't know what to do. So what we do, and I started this right away when I started, and the reason I did do this, because when I was doing the program, I was kind of out there by myself. But I made a decision I was going to do it to prove that it wasn't going to work. Okay, believe it or not, that's why I did it. I was going to prove to people it's bad luck, bad germs, bad genes, not my fault, and that's the way it is. Well, that turned out not to be true, okay? But I said when I started my business, I said, I'm going to have anybody on a program is going to get a call 5 days a week. Tuesday through Saturday, that's when we're open. We're going to touch base. If we leave a message so they know somebody cares. So we remind them where they're at on their program, what they're supposed to be doing, and leave them at. And I give everybody my personal cell number so they can call me 24/7. If they have a question, a concern, they don't understand, because as you well know, there's a lot of things, and change is hard.
Yes.
It's hard, and sometimes it seems easy when we're telling them, and then they get out there and they go, whoa. And the other reason is because when people start to heal naturally, the first day or two, sometimes they feel worse because as you clean the
crisis.
Yeah, healing crisis, yes.
Healing crisis.
Because you're cleaning the body and people start getting headaches because, I gave up sugar and I gave up coffee and I gave this up. And if you're not there and holding their hand, they'll quit. So I tell them before they start it's going to happen, but sometimes people forget that too. So we call them and we remind them. And then when they call me on my cell phone on the weekend or in the evenings and say, what's going on here? I tell them, you're going through a withdrawal. You're going through a healing crisis. It's supposed to happen. That's the only way it happens. And I tell them what to do so that they can stay on that path.
Yes.
That's why we do that.
And I think that's very helpful. It was helpful to me, getting those phone calls, making sure how I was doing, how I was feeling, right? Because it is not easy.
Yes.
I was addicted to sugar. I loved it. I mean, I just didn't thought that I could live my life. I could eat, but very seldom, where before I needed it every single day, all day long.
Sugar should be a treat.
Mm-hmm.
It should not be a staple.
Yes.
And unfortunately, our society has gotten to where sugar is a staple
Mm-hmm.
and that's one reason why we are as sick as we are. And I don't know if you know this or not, but sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is addictive.
And sugar's out there in everything virtually that we touch.
Yeah.
And we have to learn that it can be a treat, but not dessert should not be every meal. Dessert shouldn't be our snacks. It should be good food, healthy food. That's what gives us nutrients, and that's how our body can function.
Yes. And I also remember I used to be addicted to bread. Now if I eat it, it's very seldom. Everything with moderation, right? But it wasn't easy.
Right.
It wasn't easy. And I know you told me, Marines, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this? But I gotta say, it worked. I'm not in pain and moving more. My energy, my mental health. So it works.
See, bread is like sugar. It's a carbohydrate in it, but breaks down as a sugar. So a lot of times when people have certain issues, candida is one of them, we crave sugars and breads and those kind, because it's feeding it. It's like pouring gas on a fire.
Yes.
So people always say, it tastes so good, but afterwards I feel so miserable. It's like anything else that we're addicted to, whether it's alcohol or nicotine. It feels good when you're doing it, but a little bit later it's gonna hurt.
Yes.
And that's why we have to break that cycle. You mentioned once in a while you have, and that's fine. When you're healthy, you can do anything you want to in moderation. It's just we have to get up here and say it can't be all the time.
Exactly. And that is what I do for myself. Like, I don't even do it like I used to every day, all hours of the day. I'm not going to lie. That's how I used to do
I was
it.
the same way.
Yeah.
I would buy stuff and tell myself I'm just going to have it just for a treat later on, but an hour or two later, it was already devoured. So it was gone.
Yes. And I think when we are honest with ourselves, right? And we also get that support that we need, because it's not easy to do it alone.
Correct.
It's not.
No.
And sometimes food could be comfort.
Well, food is always comfort. Okay, we have to eat. So food is comfort. When you're healthy, good food is comfort.
Yes.
The vegetables, the lean proteins, those things are still comfort. So food is always going to be a comfort to us. We just have to decide what makes us comfortable. And the less healthy we are, the unhealthy foods gives us comfort.
Yes.
When you're healthy, the good foods give you comfort. Okay? So for me, like before I came here tonight, I had a nice big steak and a salad and broccoli. And to me, that was comfort. That made me feel really good. Where before it would have been probably a lot of pasta, a big bowl of pasta with whatever might have been in it, and then dessert afterwards, because you have to have dessert.
Ice cream with warm cookies, right? That would have been me. Look, I need that, but in reality, is that we don't.
We don't
But
need-
when you do crave it, as long as you do it in moderation, is what makes the difference.
Well, you mentioned we don't need it. We don't. Just like people that drink too much don't need alcohol.
Yes.
Okay. But their mind says they need it to survive. People don't need nicotine. But if you tell a smoker you don't need it, they're liable to smack you as they go out the door, okay, to get through. Because their mind is saying you need it. Well, food is the same way. Bad food is the same way. All right. And unfortunately, in our today's society, we start children very young, giving them sweets, sugar. And we do it because 2 reasons. Number one, for the moment, it settles them down. They start fussing and stuff. You give them something, and here, have a lollipop or have some candy, whatever, and they'll settle down for a short time, okay? And we give it to them as rewards. So, oh, you were good, so here's a treat. Well, just like anything else, any species in the world, we learn what reward we're going to get for doing certain things. Now, if we take children and we start teaching them that if you be quiet for a little while, you're going to get sugar. They will be quiet once in a while, but if they don't get their sugar, then they go off the wall. Okay, so what happens with parents? They're going off the wall. Give them this so they'll calm down while I visit or I talk or I'm working or whatever it might be. And so we have a society that's coming up that is addicted to sugars at a very young age. And so now as they become adults, they're very unhealthy, as teenagers and young adults. And then their health is just spiraling downhill. And there's so many medical issues with them because of the way we started them out.
Yes, that is absolutely the truth. But I also know that in this journey, you also have recipes to help us eat better.
Yes.
So even that is taken care of.
Yes.
Because I remember when I first started, I said, so what I'm supposed to eat? Like what I know is not what I'm supposed to eat, right?
Yes.
But you have that information available.
Well, we did that because if I heard it once, I heard it 5,000 times when I showed people the foods that they cannot eat while they're on the program for that period of time they're on the program. And I probably heard it, like I said, 5,000 times.
Yes.
That's everything I eat. What am I going to do? And well, then I would say, well, that's why you're unhealthy. But that doesn't work if you don't know what to do. So we developed hundreds of recipes, okay? And so what I let people do is just sit down with this book and they can just pull recipes or take pictures of them. We have them for breakfast meals. We have them for lunches, snacks, and dinners, whatever. So when people are cooking, they don't have to guess. And that's the hard part. Plus, by having the recipes, it helps people to prepare their meals, because if people don't plan their meals, I guarantee they're going to eat bad, because we get hungry. And then what we do is we say, I'm so hungry, I'll eat anything. Okay. And that's what they do. They go to a snack bar, they go to a vending machine or something, and there's nothing healthy in those places. Okay.
Yes.
Nothing. So they eat poorly, and then they wonder now why I feel bad. But then they would tell me, but I had to get something in my body. And that was problematic. So we developed recipes. And the wonderful thing is many of our clients, as they went through and they came up with ideas, they would bring them to us too. And so we would add them. So it's not just me and my staff that did it. It's also our clients that actually brought a lot of things together so that they could help other people. And we have a private Facebook page so people can go on, and I'll get, like, somebody started new today. They will go on Facebook and say, I have this headache. I don't know what's going on. And other clients who've been through the programs, they'll say, hang in there. It's going to change. And that's even comes better than if I tell them that.
Yes.
Because most people expect me to tell them it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But when other people have been through it, tell them, it resonates, I think, and makes them a lot stronger.
Yes. But I also know that part of the program, if they choose, you develop a meal plan for them specifically.
You keep bringing up things I almost forgot. Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes, people can actually have us do the whole meal plan, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You tell us based on the food list of stuff you can eat. You cross off certain foods that, like, I'll use me as an example. I won't eat cottage cheese, but it's a legal food, okay? I won't eat it no matter what. It could be the only thing there and I'm starving, I will not eat it, okay? So you cross off those things, and then we can develop so that, and it gives not only the meal recipe, a shopping list, everything. So for some people, and I deal with a lot of people who don't cook much. They haven't cooked because they eat out all the time, or they're eating on the run. Many people just were not taught to cook because of the microwaves and all the different things that we do to make things easy and fast, which is not the healthiest way, but it teaches people so then they can actually learn. So once they get well too, they know they get that idea. And once you learn to cook and do your own thing, food is better. tastes better. It's a reward that you made it. I found that out myself, that I enjoy it.
Yes, and you get into the habit of caring for yourself,
Correct.
and you tend to appreciate it, right?
That's our whole program. Care for yourself.
Yes.
Learn to love yourself.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, and sometimes they'll get off track and I'll say things like, why are you off track? Why aren't you taking care? I don't know. I said, okay, it's because you don't love yourself. And they tell me, no, I do. No. If you have a child, okay, are you going to let them eat horrible like you are? No. That's because you love them. But you don't love yourself enough to do that for yourself, okay? And that's part of healing. We have to learn to love ourselves because we go through life feeling that we're too busy for everything except ourselves, and that's lack of self-love and self-respect. And we have to change that in people's minds to help them get well.
Yes. And also another thing that I know, many individuals are like, I don't want to go to the gym. I'm not a gym person. What can you tell them?
Well, first of all, you don't have to go to the gym, okay? I mean, you can, it's okay, all that stuff. But if you don't have the time, there's ways to exercise, many ways to exercise. First of all, you got to start stretching, okay? Just stretch, just move your body. It doesn't have to be hard. People think when you exercise, you have to get out and you have to be sweating and you have to be, guy's t-shirt has to be soaking wet or else you didn't do a good job. That's not true. You have to stretch and move the muscles and the ligaments and do those kind of things. And as you do it, just like anything else, the more you do it, the more you want to do it.
Yes.
The less you do it, the less you want to do it, okay? So everything is in balance, whether it's if I eat well, I want to eat well. If I don't eat well, I'm probably not going to eat well, and I'll go that direction. So exercise, I tell people, women, one thing that women don't do enough is weightlifting. Okay. Now I don't mean weightlifting, getting heavy weights. You're sitting in the evening, watching some TV or just reading, have a gallon jug of water next to you and just lift it. Just do 5 reps, set it down, do 5 more, switch hands, do it. That's really all you need to do and get yourself started. So it's not like you have to go and buy the gym set and you have to do all that stuff. You don't. There's many ways, and I talk to people about that. Just little things. Get up in the morning and just stretch and just reach as high as you can. Spend 3 minutes reaching and coming back down, and then reaching and just getting your spine stretched out a little bit and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things you can do at home. It doesn't cost you anything to do it, but those are some of the things we like to talk to people about and guide them and mentor them in some of those aspects.
And just for the people that don't know about you like I do, what is the highest weight you ever been?
Me, personally, 260 pounds. That's what I weighed when I was the sickest.
When you started this journey
Correct.
with your health.
Yes.
And was it fast losing the weight, feeling better for you? Was it slow? How it was for you?
The weight didn't come off real fast. The feeling better came out real fast. Within a week, I was amazed at how much better I was feeling, both physically and mentally. And I'll tell you that when I was unhealthy, I was very angry. I was angry all the time. I mean, I could be driving my car and somebody would pull out a half a block in front of me. It would make me mad. It was like, why is somebody getting in my way already? Okay. Even though they were still a ways away.
Yes.
Everything angered me. And I remember somebody who worked for me said to me one time, I asked about the staff that I had, and I was in a furniture business then. And they said, a lot of them are afraid to talk to you. And I go, why are they afraid to talk to me, right? I got mad, right? And she said, because just like that, anything that's said, you get angry. I go, I'm not angry. And they go, oh, okay. I didn't realize it, but when you're in pain, you don't feel well, you don't like yourself, Okay,
Yes.
you're addicted to the sugars and all the garbage. It affects your mind.
Yes.
Okay, we don't realize it because it comes on very slow, like weight does. It comes on slow and poor health. And then one day you kind of look at yourself and go, "How did I get here? What
Then it
happened?"
scares you.
Right.
Whoa.
And so for me, within a week to 10 days, I was like, "Man, this is great." Okay, and then I was sold. I just said, "This woman was right." Okay, she went from being didn't know nothing to I just said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this." Right. And that's when I knew and I started thinking about changing careers and start doing something different. It entered my mind, but I didn't know how. And then, of course, Dr. Nelson, the woman I told you about, when I talked to her and she kind of guided me and helped me and taught me and trained me and everything. So, but the feeling good, the weight took more time. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why even to this day, I don't worry about people, quote unquote, weight. I want to see it progressing, but I don't care. As long as it's progressing, I'm good with them.
Yes. And that's what matters, right? That we feel better.
Yes.
I know that some people may be interested in doing both, but the goal here is, like you said, to help you feel better, and then everything else will fall.
Right. Well, some people, like for me, I needed to lose weight. And I could not have been healthy weighing 260 pounds, okay? At 6 feet tall, 260 pounds, and it's not like it was muscle, okay? So, I wasn't going to be healthy. So I had to lose the weight, and that took more time beyond my structured program that she had me on. And I just kept working and eating right, and that just changed as I went, okay?
Yes.
But the wellness is what is really what helps you lose the weight, because I tell people a healthy body ultimately will carry the weight it's supposed to, ultimately, okay? So if you just keep on healing, but it takes time to heal. And as I was taught, for every year that you were sick, it really takes a month to get well, to fix that, okay? So if somebody's been really sick for 10 years, really, you need to look at about 10 months, not on our strictest programs, but you can't get done with 2 or 3 months of and think everything's passed, because, for me, I'd been sick for a long time. I was 49 years old when they told me I was going to live. So I was probably sick for 20 years at least. So, it took more time to make everything the right way. And I still work at it. It's not like the journey's over.
You still do it on
Oh,
this
yes.
day.
I take supplementation. I test myself on my machine every month. I watch what I eat. Not 100%. I'm like you said. There's times I treat myself, but it's narrow.
It's
Okay,
narrow.
it's a treat. It's not all the time.
Yes. So, my people, this is it. So if you're interested in getting better, feeling better, physically, emotionally, right? And in overall, your whole body, right? Your whole self. Um, Contact John and see where it takes you. This is a journey. The journey to help us feel better.
So your people, if you want to find out more, go to my website. It's called repairmyhealth.com. Okay. So REPAIR, myhealth.com. Or you can call us. I'll just throw out a number if it's okay.
Yes.
413 569 1155. That's the best number. And talk to somebody. If they'll tell you if you want to schedule a consultation or whatever it is, or you want information, we can get it to you, help you, and guide you. But a lot of our stuff is right on the website. Testimonials, anything most anybody wants to see.
Yes. So I encourage you, do this for yourself to feel better and more than anything, right? And to be healthy. And thank you for being with us.
Nurse, thank you for having me, and I really did appreciate it, and I love working with you anyway. Okay?
Same here.
It's been fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Bye.